According to the USDA, 59 billion animals died to feed Americans in 2009. Of the 59 billion animals killed, 8.27 were land animals such as chickens, turkeys, cows, pigs, ducks, and rabbits. Globally, the number of land animals killed on an annual basis is approximately 65 billion. To highlight the large volume of animals killed, remember that there are only 7 billion people on Earth. This means that there are over 9 times as many land animal deaths per year than there are people on the whole planet. The CIA World Factbook states that there are over 316 million Americans. America alone is responsible for over 8 billion land animal deaths per year. When comparing that amount of people in America to the amount of animal deaths per year, it's clear to see that we Americans have become very efficient at animal killing. In order to become so efficient, factory farms are created in order to keep the cost of killing animals low. Today I want to highlight some problems faced by factory farmings. I want to show some ways we can help and the impact our help can have on the American community and society as a whole. Factory farms are a large and growing problem. According to EPA.gov, factory farming has recently been given a new name from the EPA called Concentrated Animal Feeding Operations, or CAFOs. The reason for the name change is because the idea of factory farming has changed so much it can no longer be classified as farming. A CAFO is defined by the EPA as an agricultural operation where the animals are kept in confined situations. CAFOs congregate animals, feed, manure, and urine dead animals, and production operations all on a small land area. Feed is brought to animals rather than the animals being able to graze and otherwise seeking the feed in open pastures, fields, or rangelands. According to wellfeed.org, 98% of all animals raised on animal-raised food is produced on CAFOs due to its low maintenance and cost effectiveness. This has led to several problems. Although there are many problems by factory farming, I want to focus on 3 main problems that I believe are the most concerning. The first of which is animal cruelty, the second is the environmental concerns, and the third is the nutritional ignorance caused by factory farming. The first problem I will highlight is the inhumane treatment of animals, animal cruelty due to the CAFOs. PETA.org does a great job of detailing the treatment of animals on factory farms, which includes overcrowding, torture, injecting animals with artificial chemicals, and other things as well. Examples of inhumane treatment include chickens being overcrowded to the point where they omit their waste on top of each other, the forced removing of chicken beaks to avoid fighting and cannibalisms that stem from chickens' behavior for being in such a stressed environment, cows being put in enclosures where they cannot even turn around and are injected with chemicals that are often painful to make them produce inordinate amounts of milk for weeks at a time, pigs being kept in crates for their entire lives where their feet never even touch the ground until their death, where their throats are often slit, which is not the most humane way to kill a pig, it's the cheapest. And lastly, just plain torture. Sometimes the farmers will often beat animals just to get them to behave a certain way or just to do it for no reason at all. One of PETA's trademark slogans can sum it up best. If all factory farms had glass walls, we'd all be vegetarians. All of these scenarios can be seen through multiple sources, which include the critically acclaimed movie entitled Food Inc. and the popular PETA website, which is named goveg.com. Along with the inhumane treatment of animals, factory farms can cause many environmental issues as well. Due to the business-like approach of less work for more results, oftentimes environmental issues are pretty bad. According to foodispower.org, there are 2 main sources of factory farm pollution: animal waste and agricultural chemicals. Let's begin with the waste. According to the EPA, a single dairy cow produces 120 pounds of wet manure per day, which is equivalent to 20 to 40 people. To me, that seems like a very high number. That means that California's 1.4 million dairy cows produce as much waste as 20 to 56 million people, which equates to 130 times more excrement than is produced by the entire human population every year. As for agricultural chemicals, of all the agricultural chemicals applied in the U.S. every year, about 37% are used to grow crops for animals raised for food. These chemicals include pesticides, including insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, as well as synthesized fertilizers, hormones, antibiotics. Farmers spray agricultural chemicals into food for animals in order to kill bugs, rodents, weeds, organisms that would otherwise supplant or eat the grain that's grown for the animals. They also apply these substances directly to the animal skin, fur, or feathers to combat infestation by the insects. These chemicals can cause severe allergies, pain, birth defects, and various other health problems. Ultimately, they're dangerous because some of them can be found in our food after it's all said and done. The dangerous compounds found in agricultural chemicals end up in pollutants when the wind and rain disperse them into our environment. Another problem that goes hand in hand with environmental issue is the issue of nutrition. America has become very, nutritionally focused, and it's becoming better at that. And if people knew a lot of the facts about the CAFOs, and they wouldn't eat the food raised by them. According to the Union of Concerned Scientists, animals in factory farms are often fed the following, which ultimately ends up in the plates of Americans who eat the factory farm animals: chemicals such as pesticides, antibiotics, enhance animal growth and production. Manure. Animals in factories oftentimes eat each other's waste in unsanitary condition. The waste gets in the food, and animals eat it that way, or sometimes they just eat the waste, by itself. Plastics. Many animals need roughage in their diet for their digestive tracts. Instead of giving animals natural vegetables for roughage, the factory turns to synthetic alternatives that are more cost efficient. Low quality grain. Cows are naturally grass eaters, and obviously there's no grass in these farms, so the farmers turn to grain to compensate for the lack of grass, which oftentimes leads to cow sickness and disease. Meat from their own species, which is illegal, and cannibalism regarding feeding animals their own species, but loopholes exist, and farmers can serve animals food called animal protein product, which are actually cannibalistic sources of food for the animals. After listening to all these issues that are caused by factory farms, you're probably wondering, what can we do to change the factory farms and why we use them so much? It starts with promoting the education firstly. By spreading the word about factory farms, we can educate others to be aware by many issues associated with factory farming. This starts with education. It's our job to become informed citizens. A simple Google search can yield a lot of information about factory farm. After attaining information is necessary to become an informed citizen, one should educate others about the factory farms and the concerns I previously mentioned. After becoming educated, the next step is to get involved. According to the Vegetarian Times, 3.2% of Americans follow a vegetarian-based diet, mainly for health purposes. Kathy Friesen of the Huffington Post reported that a recent study of vegetarian and vegans averaged of 8 years longer than non-meat eaters. If the whole society knew this, I'm sure people would be excited to live a longer and healthier life. Educating others and personally getting involved will provide a more humane work environment for the CAFOs. A more humane world, a cleaner environment, and many other nutritious people. For the population will be much better off. Just imagine a world where fewer animals were created just to die, where people were more healthy. And according to the American Heart Association, the largest contributors to heart disease come from saturated fats and cholesterols from animal products. Another option is to stop consuming and using products from farms. If you choose to consume animal products, then make sure that you buy organic or free-range options. Or you can buy local options, which are usually not from the big farms. Although local options are usually a little more expensive, they must be in order to cover the costs of higher quality products given to the animals, and not to just have to actually worry about the animals' health and their lives. I'm not saying we have to take the world by storm, but when opportunity arises, speak up about the benefits of avoiding factory farm materials. Vote for leaders who promote these practices. One benefit of living in a democracy allows us to have the ability to vote for leaders who have the same ideals we do. We can write politicians, take initiative to try to communicate with those who will make decisions, the big decisions, the politicians. In summary, today I discussed the problems associated with factory farming, the ways we can help, and the impact our help can have on animals in the American community. As people, it's our job to ensure the future of civilization by doing this, educating others and promoting ethical treatment of animals. We can buy local options that promote greener earth, eating better foods, and I think that'll be better as a whole for society. As citizens of the world, it's our responsibility to ensure a safer, environmentally friendly, and a healthier earth for all living things. And that's a speech. I hope you enjoyed it, and Thank you for listening.